Keybiscaynestories collects the history of our beautiful island. This is your host, Alejandro Cervali, and I am a certified key rat for many, many years and counting. Join me and you will get to know your neighbors and their love for this slice of paradise we call home. So stay tuned, relax, and enjoy these great Key Biscayne stories. Welcome to another episode of Keybiscaynestories. Today we have Agnieszka Szymczak. How was that? Did I say it right?
Perfect. Great.
Awesome. And she's an entrepreneur. She's a designer, and her brand is called Ania. And we're going to learn all about that. She's a Key Biscayne resident, and it's wonderful to have you with us. How are you doing today?
Good. Really good. Enjoying the sunshine in Key Biscayne as always.
Yes, this weather is amazing that we're getting right now. This is perfect walkable weather in the Key.
Take advantage, Key Biscayneers.
Yeah, definitely. So part of what we like to do here in Key Biscayne Stories is get to know you and some of your background. And of course, we want to talk about Ania and to see what the inspiration behind that was and what it got you to start and what is it doing now, what the future looks like. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you originally from?
I am originally from Poland, and I immigrated to the States with my parents in '83. I then lived in the States for 15 years, worked in Washington, D.C. and public relations and so on. And then I went back to Poland after the fall of communism and worked there for a little bit and stayed in Europe and then in Costa Rica for 20 years. And now I am back in the USA as of 6 years ago, and the entire 6 years on the beautiful paradise of Key Biscayne.
How did you come to be in Key Biscayne? How did you discover our beautiful island?
I discovered it when I was still living in Costa Rica and was about to move to Miami. And I have a daughter. So, of course, the first thing you do is where are the good schools? And everyone in Costa Rica who knew people here in Miami said, Key Biscayne. And all the research pointed that the best schools are in Key Biscayne. She was in middle school at that moment. And then we are lucky enough to also have Mass Academy once the middle school finished. So really, I came to Key Biscayne without knowing how wonderful, beautiful it is. I only knew it had a really good school for my daughter, and it was super safe. So that's how I was pointed to this beautiful place.
Great. No, yeah, a lot of the stories are very similar. People look for safe places to live close to where they are normally used to as well. A lot of Central America, a lot of South Americans, South Florida is a natural place to explore, and Key Biscayne is really hard to miss once you start looking at Miami and great places to live. So the design, what got you into design? What was that inspiration?
Well, I think I was born to design, really, but I didn't have a chance to do that when I was little. But I do remember that I think my first memory, maybe I was 3 or 4, kindergarten. I remember that we were given pieces of cloth and we made dresses for dolls, which was really like a piece of rectangle. You cut a hole in the middle and you put it on the doll and you wrapped it with a belt. I'm like, that's what I want to do. But life isn't that simple. So I did many different jobs. I had a yoga studio in Barcelona when I lived in Spain. I was also teaching writing at a university also in Barcelona. So I did a lot of things, but I always wanted to design, and I always did, just as a hobby. And then finally, when I moved back to the States, and this is after separating from my daughter's father, I decided, well, maybe now it's time for me to really focus on doing what I always wanted to do. So it's like, like the second or third wind in your life when you say, okay, I really want to do what I've always wanted to do.
Are you still doing yoga?
I am as a student, and I also do it with friends. So I do have classes that I teach to my friends because I never want to lose that rhythm. And there's a beauty in being a yoga student,
Uh-huh.
but there's also a different beauty in teaching it. There's a different focus level that you need, a different state of meditation when you are teaching to other people. So it is something I love sharing, and I do continue doing it. Yeah.
Awesome. I asked because I'm looking here. I'm looking at my WhatsApp, and I don't know if you're familiar with Anna Tootle. Anna Tootle, she is also a cave entrepreneur. She's always, like religiously, she's always at the farmers market at the Keybiscayne Community Church farmers market on Saturday, selling pumpkin bread that she makes.
Yes, I know her. Yes, of course I
Ah,
know her. Yes,
so
yes, yes.
recently she started her morning gratitude on Fridays. I don't know if she's doing it every Friday. I'm
I
looking.
know about that.
Okay, great. You should. I mean, it could be a place to go. I've done a couple of her. I did her first one
Okay.
to kind of like to support, but it kind of like it kicked off very well, and she's got quite a lot of people in her chat now. And now she's incorporating all sorts of different people. There was a bowl lady that does the bowl,
Sound bowls.
the sound
They're
bowl. So
amazing. I've done sessions of sound bowls
you
as
know,
a patient, you would say. I don't know. And
yeah. So
as
I
the
don't know.
receiver of the therapy, and it is something very different. And it really, as our body is made of water, these are vibrations that are
Mm.
entering your body. So it is, sound bowls are amazing.
And there's a lot of research too, that especially the Japanese have done a lot of research with water and sound. And don't
Wow.
quote me, listeners, please, but there's something there about like water's ability to hold messages or something like that, and it takes different shapes depending on the vibrations. I don't know, but that's more for the side. But I know Toodle in the morning on Fridays. If you want to try to teach people some yoga, or if you want to participate, I don't know.
I definitely want to participate. It doesn't work with my school schedule with my daughter.
Ah,
So I have to wait until summer vacation to be able to do it at that hour.
fair, fair. So Anya, your brand, right? So what how did it start? How did Anya start?
Um, well, like I said, it started with the fact that I was separating, and I
Hmm.
said I finally want to do what I want to do. And the first thing that kind of came to my mind is I'm going to do bags because I am fascinated with materials, and authentic materials. So I'm fascinated with leather. For me to go leather buying, to go to different like districts in Colombia, which is mainly where I would get my leather, it's like going to Disneyland for me. So I get very excited with seeing the parts that will go in, and that's what inspires me. And that's kind of how this started. It started with bags, and I started with like with fairs, with art fairs at schools and so on. And it actually started in Costa Rica. And then when I moved to here to Key Biscayne, I really started making more of a business plan. So participating in trade shows, visiting shops with the bags that I already had. So like I said, I'm really obsessed with materials, be it leather, be it linen. I'm the kind of person that, if I see someone walking down the street and the fabric moves a certain way, I'm like, okay, that's wool, or that's a cashmere and cotton blend, and that's definitely linen. That's the obsession that I have. And in today's world, we are very surrounded with a lot of synthetic fabrics. So I'm guess I'm very old fashioned that I still love the natural fibers and the things that our body is meant to be touched by. So that's kind of that's the inspiration. So really, the essence of the brand and what um, I focus on is that they're modern classics using classic fabrics and maybe classic styles, but there's something modern to it. So the modern part might be that the color of the leather, like something that maybe we didn't do 50 years ago, but now incorporating like modern touches and the way it's finished, possibly.
So bags is your first item that you
Yes.
designed. What other items are you working on or are you selling?
Okay, so now I started focusing on developing sandals. So like I said, modern classics are really kind of the essence of of the designs that I make. And so there's nothing. I do have something to show the audience, and there's nothing more classic than an espadrille. So this is like Salvador Dali wore these in Spain, and
And that's what we're looking at. It's like a sandal,
a sandal, a
uh-huh,
slide sandal.
a slide
And it's
sandal.
made of fabric with a knot on the upper. And
So
it
the
is made with Lily Pulitzer fabric, this particular one. So, what I would like to talk about a little bit is we have on the website, we do have a few standard fabrics that these slides are made in, but you can customize and make it in any fabric that you would like. So, you can send us your fabric that you'd like, and this can be made in any fabric.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool. So I'm able to choose a fabric that I like or that I have, and I can either do I have options for me to pick from on the website for a custom sandal, and I can send you something that I like? Is that did I understand correctly?
Both,
Both.
both.
Oh,
So
awesome.
we do have some fabrics that you can pick from that the sandals can be made of. So A, we have some already ready sandals
Uh-huh.
on slides. B, you can choose a fabric that we have, or C, you can send us a fabric of your own, and you can either send us an old shirt, an old skirt, and recycle it because you love the fabric, but it doesn't fit anymore, for example. So you can take that fabric and you can make a sandal in it. And I say, and this is for me, this is a perfect example of a modern classic, this particular style,
I
because
like it.
the sole, it's a super classic sole, but the upper is normally sewn on. The espadrilles is normally sewn on. This one is folded in. So it's a little bit of a different take on the classic espadrille sandal.
And then that sole or that where the foot goes, it's not it's made out of what is that made out of?
That is made out of jute, which is basically string or hemp.
Uh-huh.
So if you
You
kind of
say
see,
hemp?
and originally, like
Uh-huh. I can see.
they
Uh-huh.
were made without we have rubber soling, but
Ah,
originally, long time ago, we're talking like 100 years ago, they wouldn't necessarily have the rubber underneath. It would just be the string or jute sole that you see here. And I do have like a couple of other models just to
yeah.
demonstrate the modern part.
Yeah.
So we're also doing these
Okay.
in leather. So this is like a glittery gold suede leather. And obviously the spikes are the edgy modern touch. And again, like that is folded in. And these are perfect really to wear with jeans, kind of in between weather, but also on a daily basis, like shorts with a skirt, you just slide them on and hop out to the store. So they're very kind of everyday, but you a classic. What I should do it this way, no? Or is it Anya? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like
Uh,
go ahead.
no, go ahead. What were you going to
I was
say?
gonna say I like the one with the spikes because I grew up in the dojo here in Sensei Roberts martial arts school, and that's the first thing when I saw it. This is self defense right here. A good. These
You
are
take it off and you beat the people
you
with
can you could take it off or you could just do a nice roundhouse kick
nice
or a front kick
kick.
with that to the
Hey,
face. And self defense 101,
um,
guys. Look, if you are looking for a self defense sandal,
I don't
Anya
think.
has what you need.
Oh my goodness. May not be the line that I'm using on my website,
Oh yeah,
but
that's okay.
interesting.
That's okay.
Definitely. So this is another, and then this is kind of like a new development that I have at the moment. Again, like I love classics and I love to modernize them. So I'm working on a wooden sole slide,
Uh-huh.
which is this one can also be used on a daily basis because it's not quite a very high heel. Um,
And the
but
top
yeah,
is made out of
yeah, and it's
The top, what is the top part?
Oh,
How do you call
this
it? Uh-huh.
the
How do you,
fabric.
yeah.
Well, this is leather,
Okay.
and it is so they're really like it's a clog, so it's very classic, a little bit modernized because you don't it's not the full clog.
Mhm.
It's for Florida, really. It's resort wear.
I like that resort wear.
It's nailed with this particular one because it's black leather. Oops. Oh, it's kind of like going in and out. There we go. Oops.
I know we see you. We see you. We see
Okay.
them. We see them. I see
Yeah.
them.
So again, taking a classic sole and just modernizing it with the types of leather. And for example, this is your basic black leather, but we're also going to have this in metallic colors and different colors. So it's again going to be up for being customized. The basic black or brown will be on our website, but then you will be able to also view different leathers and send it. And if you have an old leather jacket, you can also send it in to us and we can recycle that into a clog.
I think that's pretty cool. Being able to customize the clog or sandals or, yeah, I'm not familiar with all the terminologies for or the slides as you mentioned. With your old clothes, that's cool. The recycling option is cool. I'm able to select some from your website, or I can send you or I can send you a favorite uh, piece of cloth that I like, and make here you go.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Have fun. Yeah, kind of endless possibilities.
Hey, so tell me, where can we find your products? Where are you distributing? How are you distributing your designs?
So really currently the best way is to order on the website,
Mm.
which is Anya, how the name is spelled ANIA collections, anyacollections.com.
We'll make sure we
Um,
add that to our show notes, and of course, you could find the links in the comments. Go ahead.
and I also have them in a couple shops, Golden Bar, which is in Coconut Grove, and I think they also have Merrick Park outlet. But really, the next big step is that I am opening a small retail space in a cooperative of independent designers, and it is in the building called River Landing. It is on Miami River, and it's as you're driving towards the airport, there's a building where Hobby Lobby is. They have Hobby Lobby and Marshalls and so on. It's a big kind of modern building on the Miami River, so it's very very attractive space. 2-hour free parking, so very convenient, right in the
Ah,
building.
yeah,
And
it's a new building.
I'm always like looking for that. I love that when you have super convenient parking.
Yeah,
Um, so they do have that, and
yeah,
and
it's a new
actually the
building.
way I discovered this retail space is because I was going to Hobby Lobby to buy things for making things because that's what I do, and it was right next to Hobby Lobby, and I'm like, oh my gosh, independent designers, capsules, and so on, and so that is in the works. But as with the rest of the world, due to COVID, this is delayed a little bit. It was supposed to be open a couple of weeks ago, but it is in the works. So that is very very exciting um, news. And the other way that I plan to distribute in the future is I hope to partner with schools, with PTSAs, the Parent Teachers Associations. They are always fundraising. So basically, what I would like to do is to set up a distribution channel through their website so they can sell directly. And a big chunk of the sales could go uh, back to the school, basically. So rather than me placing my designs in a shop and then the shop puts a margin up, it would be the Parent Teacher Association that would put the margin up, and those sales would go right back to the school. So that's another future distribution. And I also want to do happy hours. So,
Ah,
but basically, what
with
it is,
alcohol?
sorry,
With alcohol?
hey, whatever you like.
Why not? Why not?
You can do whatever you like. You make your happy hour as happy as you want it to be, which whatever way you like. But so the idea of that is really to recruit representatives,
Mm,
where they would present the collection. So a woman invites her friends over as she would normally anyways,
gotcha.
and then on a site to present the collection and to kind of explain that you can customize, and her friends could order through her, and then so would be that representative who would keep the sales margin. So kind of, I guess, like a Mary Kay distribution, and and you could just grow that, and you can recruit other people as well to do the sales. So those are the distribution channels that we're working on. So the current one is the website. We also have I have an Instagram just to kind of see like what is in development. So really, I kind of have new developments, new shoe soles that I'm working on, and things like that. And that's Ania Designs on Instagram. And then the next distribution will be the shop, and then I would like to work with schools, and then hopefully recruit representatives as well.
I like the representative idea. It reminds me of these business models of people that sell cleaning supplies, or there's one with oils, like infusing oils into water with their all
Yeah,
these brands that you have catalogs, and then there is this system where you can sell from home and then sell to friends and family, and you develop your market, but it's a home-based operation. And then if your friend wants to sell too, and then there's like adding your products to that, it seems like a natural pairing. You can be like, oh, these are my oils, and these are also some sandals that I'm also selling. I like that.
exactly. So it could be someone who already does these kinds of parties, these distribution. Yeah.
I like that. And then the shared spaces for small startups, I think that's cool too. I think there's one in the Grove. I have to look into it. There's one in the Grove too. I remember walking by. You walk in there and there's all these little vendors, but it's not like separated spaces. It's like this, like you're walking into like this, like a regular shop. And then there's different brands on the walls, you know.
This is exactly how this shop is going to be.
Ah, yeah.
It's actually a huge space. I think it's like 4,000 square feet,
Awesome.
and it's this open gallery space. And one of the things that attracted me to it so much is I walked in, and the ceilings are bare, so you get those in, and there's track lighting, and it looks like an art gallery. So I did ask the leasing agent, like, "Is this staying like that?" And she's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Oh, that's wonderful," because it really feels like you're walking into this open art gallery space. No, that the building really, River Landing, it's super cool because you're going up and down escalators. It's all like open spaces. So it's sort of like Brickell City Center, but it's almost like even more open. It has
Mhm.
more levels. So
Awesome.
it's really, really cool. It's a very, very cool space. In fact, like I have many other ideas that my head is racing to ahead of the shop, that things that can be done, like events that can be done in those beautiful spaces.
I think that's great. And then that's what we do as entrepreneurs. We try to find as many ways as possible. And of course, when you're starting, you're saving your costs to invest to focus more on design and other things. So it's totally natural, and I like it. I love it. So talking a little bit more about Key Biscayne, what is your favorite part of Key Biscayne?
It's the nature here. The fact that I can walk to the beach on a daily basis. It's just beautiful and peaceful. But we're, a skip and a hop jump away from a lot of action of the city. But it feels like, what it's called, a village.
It's beautiful. I agree.
I
Being
love
being
it.
able to enjoy the key, and it's peaceful and safe environment, and calm. And then Miami's right there. You got Miami, and then it's stone thrown away, Miami Beach, and then the Grove. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And lastly, one more question before we wrap up. What is a perfect weekend for you here in the Key?
Um, well, it is well, it is staying on the key.
Oh, amen. Amen to
Definitely.
that.
I never want to leave. I do everything to avoid leaving the key. That I mean, there's wonderful things outside of the key too, but I really try to stay here. Um, I love to get in a walk on the beach. So Saturday morning or maybe late afternoon, I love to go on the beach and read. A Sunday ritual, I don't know if it's the best ritual, is to take a walk to the Ritz and have a glass of wine kind of before dinner time, actually. And just to kind of appreciate the beauty. But I would definitely say it is staying on the key. Lately, I've had an obsession of playing board games with friends. So to have a nice like dinner party and then play like Roomy Cube or backgammon, that type of a thing. But really to kind of take it easy, you know, take it easy. But always really to be outside, and especially with COVID, it's become so therapeutic because even if you do get COVID, you can still go outside, obviously avoiding people and keeping your distance, but you can go outside and breathe in that salt air, which is actually proven to be therapeutic and good for you. So
Got the messages right there.
I think that's the most important thing, is to always get some time in outside every weekend. And of course, and then we have like these wonderful things like the farmers market. So just
They're great to walk in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to have you on the show to learn about what you're doing with your designs. And everybody, please make sure to check the show notes for the website if you're interested in any of her designs, and or just reach out to Agnieszka and learn more. So thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks. It's been a pleasure.